Hey guys, it's Rob here and welcome back to another video. In this video, we are going to talk about the latest Nintendo Switch news and some pretty exciting news, especially for Unicorn Overlord. We also have some new details on Endless Ocean Luminous that's coming to the Nintendo Switch. That was revealed at that last Nintendo Direct. We have some Peach sale updates and some big Xbox stuff to talk about as well. There's some pretty interesting things going on when it comes to rumors and also news. Hellblade 2's information drop and previews are pretty interesting. So first up, let's talk about Princess Peach Showtimes. So Princess Peach Showtime is pretty interesting. It's a smaller game, it's not a huge game, but it's a big character. It's connected to Mario. Although according to reviews, there really isn't much Mario in the game. Now, this game is doing pretty well, especially for the developer, Good Feel. So this is what Stealth40k has to say on Twitter about the sales of this game in Japan. Princess Peach Showtime was the #1 sold in Japan for the second week in a row. In Japan, Showtime physical sales are now over 100k. This is Good Feel's biggest success in Japan, which is pretty big. This means the game is selling pretty well, most likely in other territories as well. From what I've seen, when a game sells really well in Japan, that's really reflected in the States and in Europe and other territories. I've heard that this game is pretty good as well. I haven't played it myself because there are just so many games that I'm playing right now. Final Fantasy XIV, that new DLC is coming out, Endwalker, with the Pictomancer, which I can't wait for that game. I'm also playing Unicorn Overlord as well. We're going to be talking about that today too. And then I still got to get back to Final Fantasy VII-R. I just picked up a new Warhammer game and there's just so many games. And speaking of Unicorn Overlord, it seems that we might be able to get a sequel. So this is what PushSquare.com has to say about that. It's a bit of a stretch, but the question in a newly released player survey suggests that Atlas and Vanillaware are at least trying to gauge interest in a potential sequel to Unicorn Overlord, the immaculate strategy RPG that launched just this month, or just last month. Said survey queries players on their experience with the game and their knowledge of similar titles. Then one of the last questions simply asked if you'd be interested in a sequel. Now, I've said this in past videos that I've been enjoying the heck out of this game, and I usually don't play RTS. I kind of gave it a chance. I'm starting to do that a lot more, playing games that I usually don't play, and RTS is definitely a game that I usually don't play. But the fact that I'm enjoying it this much, if there's going to be a sequel and they're gauging interest, I am 100% interested. What about you guys? Have you been playing Unicorn Overlord? Did you skip it? Or maybe it's just not your type of game at all? And next up, we do have some more information on Endless Ocean Luminous. This is what Stealth40k says on Twitter. Nintendo of Japan just revealed more information and screenshots for Endless Ocean Luminous. 550 plus creatures, library mode with animal descriptions. You can choose different animals to swim with you. Now, for those who don't know what this game is, it's essentially a diving sim. It's one of those chill and relax games. It's not too chaotic like, let's say, Overwatch. Two totally different games, but anyone who's played Overwatch knows what I mean, or really any competitive game. And moving on to the next topic, it's just a little reminder for you guys. The Nintendo 3DS and Wii U Online is going to be shutting down, so keep that in mind. Online play for the 3DS and Wii U is going to end on Monday, 8th April 2024, so keep that in mind, guys. I mean, this is kind of like the last send-off for the Nintendo 3DS, which is a shame. It's a fantastic handheld, but we do have the Nintendo Switch now, and it is kind of in the past. Still, a fantastic console. Honestly, I want to get another 3DS. I've been looking for one, but you know, gotta save money. Also, some of them are ridiculously expensive, especially the ones that look really cool, like the special editions. But yeah, that is gonna be shutting down, so keep that in mind. And moving on to the next topic, it seems that Hellblade II previews are out and they're looking pretty good. Shinobi602 on Twitter has this to say about them. Hellblade 2 new previews. Runs at 30 FPS on both Xbox Series S and X dynamic resolution, no performance mode. That's one of the big things here for a lot of people. People love 60 FPS and 30 FPS is a deal breaker. Now, one thing I do find really weird is that overall, everything else seems fantastic. From the gameplay, the sound design, everything seems fantastic, and you're seeing a lot of articles just running with this 30 FPS, which you know why, they want to get clicks. Instead of saying how great the previews are and how great the game looks and stuff and praising the game, they're just focusing on this one detail. I guess a lot of people really do not like that a lot of games are being 30 FPS when the promise was, oh, we have more performance, so it's going to look better and run better. We're going to have 60 FPS. I remember there were even some marketing points of like 120 FPS, but that's like not for every game, and probably won't be for a couple generations. But anyways, continuing. Senyu is traveling to Iceland to hunt down the Vikings that destroyed her home in the first game. Otherworldly creatures like Draugr, I probably said that wrong, I apologize if I did, and giants roam the land. Combat is similar to the first game, but impact of hits feel heavier. Fights are 100% mocap. Parry windows appears less forgiving this time around, increased variety of enemy types, plus attack animations for Senyu. New ability, a handheld mirror that can temporarily slow down enemies to land combos. Puzzles are largely familiar, find runic shapes in environments. There are secrets hidden in the environment that can be discovered, and quieter moments where you can check in on allies. Now I think this game is about 4 to 6 hours, if I recall seeing somewhere on Twitter people mentioned it was like 4 or 5 or 6 hours. Overall, it's not a long game, but honestly I kind of appreciate those kind of games. And with a shorter, smaller game, they were able to get this high fidelity. I mean, this game looks fantastic. It looks drop dead gorgeous, and I can't wait to get my hands on it eventually because I still have to get an Xbox Series X. Now I do have to say, a lot of people are saying that this game is a game that is gonna sell consoles. I don't think this is gonna sell consoles, I'm gonna be honest. I think it's gonna get people maybe interested in Xbox games going forward if it looks this good, but I don't think anyone's gonna full on buy a console specifically for a 5 to 6 hour game. And one thing you have to keep in mind is that a lot of people only buy about 1 or 2 games a year, and it's usually Call of Duty or something. You know, you have your NFL players, and then you have the FIFA crowd. They don't really buy a ton of games, if you know what I mean. So to say that this is gonna sell consoles, I don't think it's gonna sell consoles. I'm not saying the game is bad or anything, or, I mean, according to previews, it's fantastic, but I don't think it's gonna sell consoles in a way that, let's say, the new GTA will, or even Gears 6, which, speaking of Gears 6, which quite honestly, if it's good enough, according to the rumors, it looks really, really good. I would buy an Xbox Series X for that because I love third-person shooters. I still miss Ghost Recon Future Soldier. According to Jeff Grubb, he claims that Gear 6 could be shown this summer, and Shinobi says people aren't ready for how stunning it looks, according to Jwood 2010 on Twitter. Now, if this is shown at Microsoft's June event, that would be fantastic, but I hope they show gameplay. Typically, what I am okay with is a CGI trailer first for the first reveal, and then next time you show it, don't show another CGI trailer. Show a CGI trailer with some gameplay mixed in, or even long gameplay segments if you can. As a first reveal, a title card, Metroid Prime 4, I'm looking at you, but the second reveal needs to have gameplay. I'm kind of sick of all of these companies putting out these trailers over and over again for years and years and years and not showing any sort of gameplay. Honestly, even some details of the game would be great. Not even gameplay footage. Details would be nice. That's one problem I had with Hellblade 2 is that they weren't really showing too much gameplay. It was very quick snippets, and even when we did have gameplay, it felt more on rails rather than just gameplay, like, you guys know what I mean, actual combat. I mean, that Avowed trailer looked pretty good. Now, the combat I think needs a little bit tweaking, in my opinion, but that Avowed trailer with all that gameplay, that's the kind of thing I want to see if I can get it from Gear 6. If not on the first reveal, the second reveal for sure. I don't know why I said it like that. And moving on, Ubisoft might be teasing the Splinter Cell remake. So if you guys haven't seen this on Facebook, the banner of their Facebook is Splinter Cell, so that's making people wonder, hey, is Ubisoft going to be actually revealing this Splinter Cell remake at the June event that they recently announced? Which, if that's the case, I would love that. I mean, I am a stealth fan. I love stealth games. There are a lot of games that I probably should have played through by now, like Thief, Metal Gear Solid, like there's multiple games, but like Assassin's Creed, I love that game. But also like Shadows of Mordor, Shadow of War. I mean, I want another game in that series. I hate that they patented the Nemesis system. I wish they didn't do that. I mean, I could do a whole video on that topic. I actually do want to take a look at those games and eventually do a video. But yeah, we might be getting Splinter Cell at the June event. Now that is going to happen on June 10th, by the way, just to remind you guys. And also keep in mind, there's also a rumor of a new Prince of Persia game. It's going to be a roguelite. We covered that, I think, in the last video. So those are 2 games that we might be seeing at that June event, as well as probably, I would assume anyways, Assassin's Creed Red. That's a game I can't wait for. I have been asking for Assassin's Creed Japan for a very, very long time. And the fact we're finally getting it, albeit it's going to be the open world loot system, but I'll give them a chance. I give every game a chance, at least now, especially since I have GameFly and I can rent the games and not pay out of my own pocket for the game. But we'll see. I'm a huge Assassin's Creed fan, so the fact that we're finally going to Japan is really exciting. I mean, anyone who's been an Assassin's Creed fan, at least a lot of us anyways, have been asking for Assassin's Creed Japan. I'm still interested in Assassin's Creed Hex though, because that really has my interest peaked. What are they gonna do with that? What kind of game is it, you know? Can you imagine if it just ended up being like some kind of Assassin's Creed card game? And moving on to the next topic, that rumor about the smaller first-party games, apparently there's going to be a new Astro Boy game as well. That's part of that rumor. I forgot to mention that in my last video, so I just wanted to add that on top, which personally I think there's a lot of potential for this type of game, because if you guys remember when the PS5 launched, they had that Astro Boy, or Astro Bot, I don't know why I said Astro Boy, that's a completely different IP, Astro Bot game, and it was pretty cool. It showcased the haptic feedback of the PlayStation 5 controller, so if they have a game that's completely centered around that and put more money into it and it's a much bigger game, I think that could create a really unique experience. But yeah, and that's all the stuff that we have to talk about today. Make sure you guys tell me your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.